Hi, friends. We're friends now, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Awkwardness Podcast, where every damn week we talk to an artist we love about what first drew them to music and what made them stick with it. And they play us one of the first songs they ever wrote. We're your hosts. I'm Rose Sean.
I'm Terence Leclerc.
And I'm Tony Tancredi.
But you knew that because we're friends now.
We're friends now.
This week on Awkwardness, we're speaking with Americana singer-songwriter Kris Angelis, who drove all the way down from Monterey to hang in the backyard with us. So, Tony, how did you meet Kris? Because, I mean, that's above and beyond.
Above and beyond indeed. And to be honest, I met Kris when y'all did.
Whoa.
I only found out about her because I was looking up her twin, Alex, after watching a movie she was in. And I just DM'd Kris on Instagram and started chatting music. And she was kind enough to drive down from Monterey and deliver us pure gold. I didn't know she was going to drive from Monterey, though. That is above and beyond.
That's amazing.
A++.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know, this girl has built a following through live streaming before it was all anyone could do, and she's actually charted on iTunes and Billboard more than once. But you know that all we care about is that her music is great and she has some good tales to tell, and it is, and she does. So let's hear it from the lady herself. Here's our chat with Kris Angelis.
Sun goes down.
Yeah.
Am I just not delicious? Like, what's happening? I don't get bit over here.
Tony, come on, don't sell yourself short.
I'm a tasty treat.
You are a tasty
You're a
treat.
tasty little snack.
A tasty little snack.
That's his nickname.
Sorry, we were like joking about like what our catchphrases are, and Tony came up with "I'm Tony Tancredi and I'm a tasty little snack." So
It's very fitting.
callback,
Yeah.
but not to mosquitoes. Lucky for him.
Welcome, Kris.
Hello.
To Awkwardness. Yeah.
Kris
Welcome,
Angelis.
Kris.
Hi, thanks.
Yeah,
Hi.
welcome to Spencer's backyard.
We're in
Yes.
Spencer's backyard.
It's so nice. It's like a whole bar.
I
It's
know.
beautiful, right?
It's ridiculous. I can't believe that this exists as a rental in Los Angeles. But we are podcasting in the wild. Yeah, so there might be the occasional dropping acorn. Just be ready for that.
Squirrels, birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's au naturel.
I mean, when I was
Fresco.
when I was living in Pasadena, I had these big palm trees outside my house, and
Nice.
like the fronds would fall, and they're like deadly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, my gosh.
Huge, huh?
My
Yeah.
place in Echo Park, every time the wind would blow, it would be like dinosaur bones in my
Yeah.
yard from the palm tree. I know, and I kept being like, are you guys going to like trim this? No, we're just going to let it fall.
Luckily, it didn't damage my car too badly.
Oh, too badly. It hit the car?
They hit the car, but
They probably
Whoa.
scratch it a little
Yeah.
bit, no?
whatever.
Ugh.
Did you live in Pasadena? You grew up around there? Or?
No, actually, I grew up on a farm in Florida until
Nice.
I was 11, and then I moved to Northern California, to Monterey, Carmel area, and then I moved to LA and lived a bunch of places around here.
Yeah.
And now I actually just moved back to Monterey.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, do you? Oh, you live in Monterey. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, she made the drive, so thank
Yeah.
you.
You
Yeah.
drove down here from
Yes.
Monterey?
Just now.
Oh
yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
my goodness.
That's why I was a little late. Sorry.
No, I'm
Oh,
so
oh,
sensible
you're
of the
good.
honor. Thank you.
I think we should have had a meal prepared for you.
I know, right?
seriously.
Let's
We've got
make-
some oranges.
Let's make a turkey.
I know.
No, that's
goodness.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you grew up on this farm with your twin sister.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is very cool. You're actually, I think, the second, possibly third guest we've had who has a twin.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Adam.
Yeah. It's, Adam at least. And then I want to say somebody else said that, but I might be misremembering.
We like interviewing twins.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what's crazy
But
about
just
her twin
one.
is I only know about her because I was looking up her twin after we watched The Cleansing Hour, and I saw Kris Angelis, and I thought it was her putting out music, so I looked it up, and I figured out, oh no, it's his sister.
Not
Yeah.
not an alias.
It's funny that how many people think that.
Oh,
that
wow.
like her acting persona is Alex Angelis and her music persona is Kris Angelis.
That's exactly what I thought.
That would be kind of funny.
Wow.
So I listened to the music, I'm like, oh, this is sweet. Oh, it's also a sister.
Well, that's so cool. I mean, I noticed that that you've done some acting, and then I also noticed that you guys have done a couple things where you're playing twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
That's got to be like sort of fun.
It is fun for sure. It's nice to have a buddy on set and we like, make each other laugh in a way that no one else understands. But like it also has its drawbacks at times because, with sisters there's some you get in fights and stuff, and like one time it was when we were on our way to be in Bones. We were on an episode of Bones, and we got into this huge fight in the car.
Was that the twins that juggle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and we got in this huge fight in the car, and we were like, one of those like,
Oh, no.
I will never speak to you again. Like,
Oh,
fight.
no.
And we get there and we're like just fuming at each other, but locking it up, right? But then we had to be tied together, literally. We were like bound together because we were playing Siamese twins or conjoined twins.
Conjoined, yeah.
And so that was ridiculous. And then so we're sitting in like a little bench area, and I was like, I'm hungry. I want to go get some food from like Crafty, and she just like sat back, was like, I'm not moving. Like, this is how we're fighting now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And the other funny, weird thing about the twin thing is, I mean, from SAG rules, they have to give each actor their own little dressing room in like the RVs, but they gave us each our own, but they weren't connected, but we were tied together. They were like, there was something there was someone else in between us, and we're like, this is weird.
So wait, so they weren't untying you like when they sent you back to base camp?
No, it was a whole thing.
No,
it would have been complicated.
Oh wow, but well, okay, listen. So full disclosure, I do props for TV.
Oh, cool.
And I have had jobs where I don't think I've ever done one where we were conjoining people, but I've done things like where we had an actor that we were putting in one of those like traction, I think that's what you call it, like one of those leg things where it's like as though they had
like an
armature
inside.
And I mean, obviously I was putting that on him when he came to set and not leaving it on him, so I'm really surprised that they didn't like unbind you guys to leave set.
I guess we didn't really go back to our dressing room area.
Like
our
once
trailer.
we were tied together.
We were just on set.
Maybe it was like a Parent Trap situation where they were trying to get you to be friends again.
Yeah, I mean, we were friends again by the end, but it was as we were like juggling and getting hit in the face with these things. But the funny also thing was we got dressed into our costume and everything in one of the rooms, and then just went into the other one without thinking and got undressed. So we had to like run to the other one in our underwear.
Oh no!
How funny!
It's like, no,
because we're like, I don't have clothes.
That's so funny.
It's good times.
Oh my gosh!
But you know what else? This is kind of awkward. I found out last week. I don't know. Someone Googled me, and it literally says. So they Googled my sister, and it says Alex Angelis, actress. And then they Google Kris Angelis, and it just says Alex Angelis' sister.
What?
It's like, excuse me.
Yeah,
Well,
super
I-
Excuse me, Google.
I will say it doesn't just say that, but it does say that.
It does just say that.
Well,
Like, that's like my like thing underneath my name.
well, you know what's
Oh,
funny though is
no.
I think like it offered me, in the suggestions like Kris and Alex Angelis, and
Yeah.
it was all about you. So if that
Okay.
makes you feel any better,
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Still, Google's a little
yeah, Google's a
You
little
know,
biased.
Yeah.
like casting shade.
But no, it's neat. I just think like the whole twin thing is really cool in general. And I remember like being a younger person, like a kid, I always wished I had a twin. But
Why does everyone say that?
I think it's
It just
a
seems
non-twin.
fun.
It's very non-twin talk. But
Well,
maybe like
Yeah.
I
Gemini,
think the
like
idea.
sign.
Well, I am
Yeah.
a Gemini, so but.
I think that's it. Yeah.
But I think at least the perception is that you have somebody in your life who knows you like better than anybody else possibly could or something.
Aw.
Is that a blessing or a curse, though?
Well,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
both.
You get in fights
Yeah, you tell me.
on
Yeah.
sets.
Well, I mean, we literally used to be the same cell.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
trippy.
yeah, but no, it's both, obviously. But I think that whole thing about are we connected and stuff, and I go through these different times of life and things that happen where I'm like, it's just someone that you know really well. That's like going to happen with anybody that you know really well. But then there's also little weird moments of like, wait a second, that was super weird. Like, how did I know that something was going on?
Right. Something that's like beyond knowing them. It's something more like connected and spidey sense.
Like my mom said that when we were really little, we would like one of us, we'd be in separate rooms, one of us would get hurt, and the other one would like come running before they even started crying or anything.
wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Out of the two of you, you were the one who was more into music. Like, was that like something that kind of like happened right away? Like you were both kind of playing songs together, but
Yeah. I mean, we started out, like I was an actress as well, and then I got a lot more into music mostly probably because I made friends with the Brandi Carlile band like a long time ago, and like her guitar player gave me my first guitar, and like I just,
what was it?
It was a Fender.
Oh,
and I
cool.
don't know what kind because I'm
Like
not
an
a gear
electric?
person. No, it was an acoustic.
Oh, sweet,
that's
nice.
cool.
And I just like was hanging out with them a lot, and it was really inspiring. And I mean, I was already inspired. Like when I saw her perform, I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Like, because during that time, a lot of the female artists that I knew about were more like, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. I love them, but it just wasn't like what I felt like writing. And then I saw her and I was like, oh my God, yes, I could do this. I want to do this. And
What album, like what song, like era of Brandi Carlile?
before the Brandi Carlile like first album came out.
So
Oh,
like
wow.
2001 or
like
something?
2004, 3.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I met them before they were signed to Columbia.
Wow.
Like they put out an album before that, but yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
so
like
cool.
early. Oh, that's
Was it like
funny.
acoustic, kind of like more
Yeah.
heavily like? Because your songs are so. I describe them as like a summer wedding underneath outdoor like string lights and stuff.
I've played at those.
Yeah. What's that vibe? It's like a really beautiful like It really just captures all that.
Oh, thank you. That's nice.
So
it
that
was
was
acoustic stuff,
around
like,
like
yeah.
2003, 2004 is when you started feeling like, oh, I want to write music?
Yeah. I mean, I'd had those sort of urges before, but it wasn't something that I was really pursuing.
Or did it just not feel like something you could do?
Yeah,
and then you
kind
had
of.
that
Yeah,
aha
and I
moment
had
of
that-
like, oh, I can do that.
Exactly. And yeah, because I was very focused on acting for up until then, and I was still for a long time. And then I just sort of was like, I feel like music is more fulfilling somehow for me and kind of easier in a lot of ways, but also harder in a lot of ways. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Terence is an actor. I have never really been an actor, but or even really tried. But I have kind of thought privately that music. It's not that it's easier, but you face less constant direct
Judgment?
rejection.
Exactly. Well, yes, unless you're like in the process of like pitching.
Yeah, but even right, I guess so. But it's not that same thing of like auditioning and having people go like,
Right.
I can't imagine how you deal with
Yeah.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, no, totally. And
Right.
so, like, yeah, auditioning is horrible. But yeah, when I can just be like, okay, I'm gonna write this song and express my feelings, and I can put it on an album now because with the technology and stuff, anyone can do
Yeah.
that and record themselves, and I can just put it out. So like that is really great. Like you said, you don't have to audition to like be on an album
Right.
as with acting. But then on the other side of that coin, in like the career sense, for example, like my sister has gotten in these movies that people have heard of, and they have their own promotion team and money. And so she's like, oh, this actress that people know because she's been in these things, and I'm here by myself with my whatever budget I have to like try to get out
Yeah.
there. And it's like its
Right.
own thing that doesn't have a platform,
Right,
Yeah.
you're an island unto yourself
Yeah.
versus
Yep.
being part of a thing.
machine.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't have to like get, hundreds of people to okay me to be part of my album.
Right. Yeah. Or necessarily get an agent or
Right.
Yeah.
any of the other sort of layers.
Yeah.
I know another person who is a twin whose brother is like the actor,
Yeah.
but they were both originally pursuing acting, and
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because I don't know. It seems like they had a little bit of a similar trajectory where like they also have definitely played twins
Yeah.
multiple times.
What are their names?
Oh God.
I know. Is the twin kind of like the
in LA,
community.
if you're an actor
Yeah.
and you're a twin, you know lots of twins.
Oh, I bet because you're probably
Because you're
auditioning for all the
you
same
see each
shit.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder how many, maybe, probably not you guys, but like how many of them like started out as babies? Because, if
Right.
you're casting one baby, you cast twins.
Yes. I know. My parents, for whatever reason, like thought we were going to become drug addicts or something and didn't want to like let us be in show business until we were out of the house.
Fair.
And we actually basically got cast in the sitcom version of The Parent Trap, that was ABC Family,
Wow.
and then they didn't make it. So
what was it called? Was it called The Parent Trap?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I remember
It's a long time
that.
ago.
Yeah.
So life would have been different, but my sister loves that I'm not an actress anymore. She's like, you can come and act with me if I need you, but but
funny.
get out of here, because it was, it's weird to be directly competing with someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah,
that's
like, and not
trippy,
just
yeah.
the normal version of like, oh, this person looks like me
Right.
but taller or with a stronger
it's your
jaw.
twin. So there was like a lot of jealousy, and it was weird. And this is better.
Yeah.
Wow, was there times where like one would book a job and not the other?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. And you both went out for it?
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Actually, one time I got an audition that she didn't get, and she totally crashed my audition. Just was like, I'm auditioning
That's
too.
hilarious.
But she didn't
funny.
get called
But at
back.
the same time, you could do more jobs that way because you're both like you could.
You could just like
parent
pretend to be the
trap
same
it,
person.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that has happened. My sister one time, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but one time got cast in something and then got cast in something else, and the schedules overlapped. And so
Amazing.
she just sent me.
Oh my
Love
god,
it.
that's
And you're
amazing.
Like, hi, I'm Alex.
I guess I probably totally could have gotten away with just saying that I was her, but we were open and honest about it. And it was
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
she was like, I have an identical twin sister who's also a good actress. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, that's easier than
sure, yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh, that's
funny.
great. Yeah, let's focus on you. I feel like we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about you. About
So Brandy Carlisle's
Yeah,
guitar
so
player
good,
gave you
yeah.
a guitar.
Yes.
That's like right there. That's what is that called? It's like the dawning. Like it's kind of like you're given like
That's my
Excalibur.
origin story.
Yeah, it's a cinematic moment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And he
Cool.
sort of
Do you
taught
still
me-
have it?
Taught me how to play it.
Yeah.
No, it got stolen while I was on tour.
Oh, no.
I know. But actually, this is funny. The song that I'm going to attempt to play now was one of the first songs that I wrote, like, in that time. And he actually taught me how to play it.
Oh, wow.
Like, I wrote the lyrics and the music or the melody,
And
and
he
then
was
he
like,
was
"Here's
like,
the
here are the chords, practice.
Amazing.
That's
love that.
great.
Yeah.
Anything about the song you want us to like kind of keep in mind while we listen, or you want to just go into it? Like,
don't
what's
know.
it about?
Should I-
anything or?
Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should say it before or after. Okay, but I'll just say that it was inspired by a line from Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, because I was a total theater nerd.
Love
Oh,
it.
nice.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, that's the wrong chord. I felt so high, but I was shy. Then you turned dry, and I wept my life. With tears I cried. You always liked the drama. You played the part just like you learned. You broke my heart, the tables turned. You missed your cue, and I was left just standing there. So I finally called you up and let you know I'm asking yes or no. Brief sounds determine we'll oh. I looked all around for you so I could pretend that I didn't care, that you were there. Your lies are made of fear, and my hope was made of pain. Gotta wipe away the memories so I can say I'm sane. I believe you thought that you were real, but it's not something you can feel. Well, I never felt your lips, but let me give you a tip. There's no manuscript for relationships. You danced with me, then ran the other way. All you said or had to say was nothing, but that's okay. You're not a disappointment if nothing was expected. You finally opened up and lied to me. You dealt with it so clumsily. If you weren't you, who would you be? I looked all around for you so I could pretend that I didn't care, that you were there. Your lies are made of fear, and my hope was made of pain. Gotta wipe away the memories so I can say I'm sane. I believe you thought that you were real, but it's not something you can feel. And sometimes I wished we'd never met. I looked at your eyes, hadn't seen them yet, and I realized they can't decide what color they are. How exceedingly appropriate, and that's as close as I'll ever get. I finally opened mine and let you go. Stop coming to the show, got tired of my seat in the very last row. I looked all around for you so I could pretend that I didn't care that you were there. So go ahead and take your bow. I was gonna forgive you anyhow. Tired of hearing the dial tone, I just wanna hear you say hello. So I finally wrote it down and let you know. Brief sounds a turning of my wheel.
Yeah. That was so good.
It's literally the first time I've actually played that in years.
Wow.
So I can't. You said you were a theater nerd. I can't help but notice that there's a lot of theater metaphors in there, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
What was the line?
Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe. It's in the part where the nurse has come back from like going to see what's up with Romeo, and Juliet's like, "Oh my gosh, tell me, what was it? Yes, was the answer yes or no?" Brief sounds, yes or no, determine of my weal or woe, which is like happiness or sadness.
That's brilliant. Love it.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. How old are you when you wrote that?
16, 17.
Yeah,
I know that song is really good.
I was gonna say,
I know. Your voice sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but also, I mean, gosh, yeah, those are some really intricately great lyrics for a
thanks.
teenager. Like,
Yeah, right?
yeah, relationships don't have a manuscript, I think.
Are you sure? I was like, I was looking at it. I was like,
Well,
this is so cheesy.
No.
I
You know what?
love it. It's very sweet.
Everyone's their own
Yeah.
worst critic.
Yeah, or like Gregory Alan Isaacoff. I don't know if you know his music. If you're into lyrics, listen to Gregory Alan Isaacoff. He's one of my favorite lyricists, and he has a bunch of like really kind of specific and very poetic and metaphor stuff in a way that's like, what are you even talking about? But it's beautiful. But then he'll have like the repeating line is like, if it weren't for second chances, we'd all be alone.
Right. So yeah,
it's
like
true.
you can. That's interesting. Like how you can have a lot of like very intricate wordplay, and that's all great. But then like you've got to come back to some really accessible place.
Yeah.
I feel like Andrew Bird is really good at that.
Yeah, and like Ray LaMontagne too.
Yeah. I think I read in an interview with Andrew Bird where he was talking about being on tour with the Decemberists and how they were like trying to like out nerd each other at a point where they were like, oh, well, who can make like the more obscure literary reference in their song, which if you listen to their music from that
Like, you
time,
can
you're
tell.
like, oh, that's why that happened. It's like a funny thing, right? Because I think emotional accessibility of an idea, especially with music, is really important. But I always really appreciate when an artist brings in something that's a little more obscure. And then, because then, like, if you get it, you feel really like, you feel this sense of
club.
accomplishment, or like, oh, I'm well read,
Yeah. or
I
you
get
learn
that.
something.
or
I
you
don't
learn
know.
learn
something.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point.
It's like I don't get that, but I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna really get that.
Yeah.
So you wrote the song, you know, this professional guitar player, like, was kind of helping you out, but like,
That's so cool. Yeah.
but as far as like really kind of getting on a track to like, I want to like be an artist and pursue that. Like, how did that happen?
Oh gosh. I mean, he also helped me record some of my stuff, and then that was fun. And I decided one day I was going to go play at an open mic, and I think I actually do kind of credit the way that went for the rest of my career, because it went really, really well. Like, it could have been horrible and a disaster. And actually, like, it still surprises me every once in a while when I remember how scared I used to be to sing in front of people. Like, I would just shake and like not be able to like sing. Like, it was very weird. But because I'm now that's all I do. But so I went to this open mic and I played this song that I had just written, and it was probably extremely stumbly, but
Was it this song?
No, it was a different song called "Long Way Down," and it was at a pizza place in Isla Vista.
Like
Wait,
Santa
which
Barbara.
one?
Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
name some. I don't remember.
But like Santa
Not
Barbara.
Woodstocks.
Like
Okay,
Santa
that's what I
Barbara, where UC,
Yeah,
UCSB
like right
is.
in the
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
student area where
love
people
that.
live,
Oh,
and
that's
so
cool.
it was full of like young drunk people. And they were very excited that this was the first time I've ever played an open mic. So they were very supportive, and they were like cheering and yelling out the things. And
I
it just
love
like
that.
made me feel really good.
When you can get the drunks on your side,
That's
that is
amazing.
a good show. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why sometimes I am a little bummed out about going to if I'm playing I'm at a dive bar, and this is hard to get people's attention, but if you can get a couple of them and they keep drinking, you got them in your palm of your hand.
They're your best friends at that point.
Yeah. And then they buy all your CDs.
It's so true, man.
Yeah, so you play the open mic, and then
Yes.
it goes well. And then so do you start writing and recording and just...
Yeah. Started writing and recording more with Timmy, and I put my songs on MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear a lot of that.
MySpace.
Free web
Yeah.
hosting.
Shout out,
That was the
yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
MySpace truly was
Yeah.
God's
out to
gift to
Tom.
musicians.
Yeah, shout out Tom.
And when I came back to LA after I moved up to Washington for a little bit, I met this guy who was starting to work on. He wanted to be a producer, but he was sort of just starting out. So he was like, "Hey, I'd like to work with you," and he gave me a really good deal. And we made this really fun album called The Left Atrium. And that was kind of the first time that I really, I hired a publicist and I really went for it with trying to get it out there.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that has been really, really changed things for the better was live streaming. Because it just makes it possible for so many people to discover you at any time.
Right away.
So
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
been doing Twitch or Facebook Live or something?
I was doing Periscope for a while.
Oh, Periscope.
Then it shut down.
Yeah.
And then I started doing Haps,
Apps.
which
don't
it's
even
a
know what that
new
is.
it's a new it's a
Cool.
new one.
Oh, what's the
Shout out
haps?
to Haps.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it's cool because kind of Restream or whatever, you can multi-stream to a bunch of different places.
Oh, cool.
But it's also its own platform. It's not it's an app that people can follow you onto.
Okay.
Whereas Restream is just the platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's been good. It honestly, I haven't done it as much this year just because I'm sort of trying to focus on, I don't know, building up other
you
things.
can play in person now too.
And yeah. But I was streaming almost every single day of 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the previous couple of years. And that's what made it possible for me to have a fan base where I could fund my album just from the first album that I did a Kickstarter, and it was mostly my friends and family.
Yes.
And the last couple that I've done, I've funded just from pre-sales, and mostly people that I don't know.
Wow, that's so great.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, and it's so helpful. I mean, gosh, I just remember when that shutdown was happening, that there was that feel of just kind of what is going on? What are we doing today?
Mm-hmm.
And there were the live streams that people were doing were really getting people through.
Mm-hmm.
It was so not only was it great for you to be able to perform, but I'm sure so many of the fans are going to be fans that stick around because you really helped them through it.
That's what people have said, and that's so wonderful. I mean, that's all I want. Whenever people are like, "Why do you do this?" I'm like, "Because I want to make people feel the way I feel when I listen to my favorite songs."
Yeah, it's a
And-
connection.
And
Yeah.
music really saved me, and continues to do so. And so that makes me feel really good.
I was going to say, I loved learning that theater, you're a theater nerd growing up, because that really impacted not only your lyrics, but also your latest album, The Skies We Look Up To, right?
The skies we look to, yeah.
We look to. I don't know why I think up to.
I mean,
I don't know, it's
they're
just
up there.
Yeah.
They are up there. The skies.
Well, you look up to
you look up to the
people,
skies.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The skies we look to. It's the overtures and at the beginning, and just it feels kind of like a movie soundtrack or
Cool.
A musical.
what I was
Was that
thinking.
an intention behind
Yeah.
it? Because you also have the reprise of I'd Give Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the idea of sort of the old-fashioned, when you're watching a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical or whatever, which is basically all I watched when I was little. Because on the farm, the cable company didn't even go that far out. So we had a channel. as like news, and then just like my grandparents' Rodgers and Hammerstein, VHS tapes, and
Nice.
and like sometimes we would go to those things called rental stores.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I remember those.
Video store.
Blockbuster.
Oh,
Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video was awesome.
I'm not fooling anyone about how old I am. But anyway, I loved the idea of that there was always sort of this overture at the beginning that was
Yeah.
kind of little parts of all of the songs.
Yeah, like
and I
medley.
thought that would be fun to do with my album. So I I'd written and recorded the whole album, and then I got this beautiful cellist, Ashley Ng, to listen to the songs, and I made little chord charts for her and stuff, and she played that whole thing,
Oh, so
and
good.
just
wow.
layering on top of herself, and
I
it
love
was
it
amazing.
because it also captures all the hooks. It captures all like the motifs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could. It's ready made to be like some kind of musical. Like,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
would you do something like
Oh,
that with
yeah.
the album? Like, that'd be cool.
I would love to do a musical, like Sarah Bareilles with
Yeah,
Waitress.
yeah.
That's cool.
Oh God, Waitress. So yes, what's funny is I never actually saw the movie to this day, but I had a bunch of friends that worked on it, like as crew. And I remember them telling me about it and thinking like, oh, that's like a cute concept or whatever. And then, there was that crazy thing where the director was like murdered in her own home. And like, how sad is that? And then the fact but the content of it actually seems like such a kind of perfect choice. Because I feel like there's a number of things that have been made into musicals that don't really make sense. But Waitress just felt like the exact right kind of like sweet, quirky thing. And Sarah Bareilles seems like the perfect,
Yeah, I saw the movie and the musical, and they're both great.
I love the concept of like the pies that are just named, like Earl Got Me Pregnant pie or whatever,
Yeah,
It's something like
I need
that,
to leave
right?
my husband pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Terence was talking about like your album, and I did the thing where I went to Spotify and listened to your most popular songs because that's what it gives you first. And man, that's such a like perfect illustration of like sort of the lost art of the album, right? Is because Spotify doesn't give it to you like that. You have to go, oh, I want to listen to this album start to finish. And
Yeah.
it's such a shame because you did this cool creative thing that I entirely missed out on because I didn't.
I love how open you are about that.
No, I'm kind of mad about it because I
Well, you can still listen
can
to
still
it.
do it.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I know, but I think that's just like that is such a shame because so many listeners.
It's a good point that
Say
like
no to shuffle.
So listeners
say no to
check out
shuffle.
say no to shuffle for real. Like it's true. Like because it's like you wouldn't think to like listen to the album in order anymore. Like
Right.
that's a thing that's lost on the youth.
Yeah, well,
Because
but
singles
I mean,
exist.
and
Singles.
It's
si-
single,
well,
single.
and Spotify is so single focused.
Oh
at
yeah,
this
that's all that
point.
matters.
But I mean, even just like, a few years ago when you would go to iTunes and like download an album, you were downloading the album. And yeah, so I feel a little cheated that I like went to go check out your music and I like didn't get to like.
But you heard I'd give anything.
Well, you know what I heard that I really liked? I mean, I liked it all, but that Siren Hope.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That is a great song, and
you.
I love the comparison. I noticed some lyrics actually in the song you played us about this idea of like hope being pain.
Yeah, it's a little sad, I guess.
No,
But no, then
but,
hope is a siren.
Yeah,
you know?
hope is this false thing.
tells you this beautiful story, and then is like, haha, you're dead.
Yeah, yeah.
mind.
But that's
Come crash upon
that's
my
interesting.
rocks.
Exactly.
That's interesting that theme has continued for you. I mean, I identify.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I like the whole aesthetic that you have on that album.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that a siren mythology is always sort of ripe for
I never knew. Yeah. Like I use both.
that imagery.
Yeah.
Well, I also I think maybe this is also why I love the songs that I love mermaids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's when I was like, I'm going to have this album and it's going to be called That Siren Hope, which I think I came up with the album title before I wrote the song.
oh, interesting.
But I had that concept. And I was like, I'm going to be a mermaid. So I had to do this underwater photo shoot and then like these photo shoots in the ocean and stuff. And it was was really hard. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So me like laying in the waves of the Pacific Ocean in Northern California, that was probably the coldest I've ever been.
Oh, wow.
But the one where I was underwater, luckily I had gotten in touch with this guy who does underwater photo shoots, and that's what the pool is for. So he knew to like heat it to 90 degrees.
Smart.
So it wasn't cold, but what did happen is I had to have my eyes open underwater for like 6 hours.
Oh
and
my goodness.
my eyeballs were like on fire. And it just had the worst headache.
Is
was
it like
horrible.
chlorine or like what's in
I
there?
believe it was not chlorine. It was a saltwater pool.
But still.
But no matter what, like even if
Just
it was just regular
water.
water, like it's just your eyes aren't meant to do
my
that.
goodness. Yeah.
Oh wait, real quick though, there were these shots that I wanted to get where I like wanted to be. I used one for my poster where we obviously tilted it, but it looks like there's like a wall of water and I'm like floating there and then like have my hand up against it. And obviously I had to be flat, almost near the surface, but like under the water to achieve that. And in order to get a photo without just like a bunch of bubbles all over the place, I just had to let the water go into my sinuses.
No.
Yeah.
What?
No, like I couldn't breathe air out, so the water just like filled my sinuses and I would just do it and then when I got up like it would drain out.
Yeah, you were just like,
and it
Oh,
was
that's wild.
it was just like, that feeling of water up your nose, but like over and over on
but
purpose.
and just like
Oh,
all up
no.
in your head.
You got a level of professionalism that's unmatched, I guess.
For
I couldn't do
real.
it. I'd be like, I'm out.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, lesson learned with the underwater photography. Like, it looks so cool, but it really,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
For some reason, I actually do have I'm so lucky to have my family and friends who are so talented and professional and like have all this stuff and are willing to work with me and make stuff with me. And, I help them out with stuff too when I can. But like, I've been able to make these music videos for almost nothing in, relatively, because I just have these amazing people in my life. And, but like the one guy, his name is Lee Holbrook, who has directed a bunch of my recent videos. He keeps being like, next video, we'll do something like super comfortable. You'll just like be in bed all day. And so I had this song called Meet You in Our Dreams. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
I could be in bed. But then, we both, this is the thing that we do. We like took something that could have been really simple and like made it really complicated. And of course I was
Story of my
end
life.
up walking around like the forest barefoot, like, and one of the shots at the end of the day was I'm at the top of this little cliff in Big Sur.
Wow.
At sunset, again in like the winter, and
No.
and I'm sitting there with my little like tank top and skirt, and it's time lapse. So in order to get,
so you're trying to be still.
so I'm trying to be still, which I didn't have to be 100% still because it's whatever.
Yeah.
But like, we're trying to get the clouds moving and the sun setting. And it wasn't a long portion of the video, but in order to get that effect that we wanted, I had to sit there for 30 minutes with this crazy wind. I think maybe that's the coldest I've ever been.
How did you get
Yeah.
from like just gonna be cozy in bed to like on a cliffside in winter?
I don't know. I think I'm like a masochist or something.
Well, you know what? No, you're just committed to the visual.
Because it looks
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
But that is,
It's worth
yeah,
it.
I know. You're like, those moments, you're like, why did
Yeah, why?
Why?
Yeah.
I
And-
know.
but
Was
it's gonna
that
look
going
so
to?
cool. Yeah. Well,
What was
like,
your
right,
Zen meditation while you're like sitting there and a cold wind is blowing?
That all I did was I just tried to be really zen and just thought of everything I was grateful for.
That's really beautiful.
It is.
Actually, you
No,
know.
I,
Like,
you know
yeah.
what? It's funny because I've worked on a lot of TV stuff where we have, we're shooting at night, and even though it's LA, like it still gets fucking cold here.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter, and the whole crew is standing around in parkas, and then we have an actor or actress like working on True Blood. Like we'd be out at this ranch in Calabasas, and it literally got freezing out there sometimes. And yeah, so one of the crew members literally bought a dog sledding jacket for shooting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anna Paquin has to like come out in her little fairy costume and like run through the woods,
Yeah.
you know, with her shoulders and her arms just bare and her legs bare. And
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, how does she act like she's not cold? Because I know she is.
It's
Right.
hard.
So I want to know about like looking up frostbite for your next music video and everything. Like, what's in the works? Because I mean, I love this album, and I hope it becomes a musical. The Skies We Look To.
It's amazing.
Yeah, why not?
That would be
I mean,
amazing.
with the overture and everything, I love that you do like this callback to I'd Give Anything. It almost kind of like sets it up for the listener as like this full circle moment of just kind of like at the end, you know, she's the hero is singing this again. Are you writing new stuff? Are you like, is it going to be this album being promoted for a minute?
Yeah, I'm still working on, somewhat promoting this album. I'm doing the whole, Grammy campaign thing.
Yeah, congrats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm still on the first ballot. I'm not like nominated yet or anything.
That's cool.
I have no idea how that works, but that sounds really impressive.
Yeah.
Thanks. I just didn't want anyone to misunderstand. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm doing the Grammy thing. Like, you're nominated for Grammy? Like, no, not
Well,
yet.
yeah, but hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But and then I'm also actually taking That Siren Hope to radio because of the sort of popularity of it. And definitely, yes, working on writing new songs. I don't have any, studio time booked at the moment, but I am putting the finishing touches on another song that's kind of going to be like just for the vinyl of The Skies We Look To.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And this is my little nerdy side where I like to have little layers and hidden things.
Yeah.
If you look at the actual artwork on the CD, the way that I did the titles is there's like kind of a little poem that includes the titles
What?
in order. And I put out the extended version, which is the one that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you look in the little poem, it actually has Undress and Run in it. And Run is the other song that's going to be sort of the last thing. So I don't know. I like that I did that.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no, I
love
and no
that.
one would notice unless I told you.
No, but it's
No,
true. It's the
I live
lost
for
art of
that
the
stuff.
album has like,
Yeah.
incorporate all elements of it.
I live
you
for
know?
that stuff. I really truly miss like the album art and the liner notes and all of that kind of stuff the squirrels.
And the squirrels miss it too.
The squirrels are like, yeah, you know what?
Me
More
too.
albums,
Yeah.
But no, I really do miss that stuff because I mean that's the thing where like you can have a really sweet cover and like album cover and you'll see that on the online platforms, but you don't get to like take that cover out of the case and unfold it and like turn it over in your hands in the way that you
I wonder
used
if
to be able
that's
to.
why part of the reason why vinyl is making such a resurgence.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. People
They're
miss
so pretty.
it.
Yeah, and the tactile experience, and also the sort of like commitment of sitting down with a record and like
listening to the whole thing. You can't skip. I mean, you can, but it's complicated.
but listening and just listening intentionally.
Yeah.
Like I am going to listen to this record now. I have to like put the record on. I'm going to have to flip it.
It's
Well,
so
actually,
true.
my last album I have on vinyl, and you don't have to flip it because the whole thing fit on one side.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't have to pay for the other side. So the other side is just totally smooth.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's economics, baby. But no, you know what I mean? Like, it's still the same thing of like having to like take this physical object out and having that
Totally.
tactile
It's like a little
experience.
I've got memories of listening to songs from listening to records that it's weird. Like right now it's like Spotify or whatever. Like you just kind of like songs in the background and stuff. But like, I remember being like, putting on a record.
Yeah, and
listening.
remember
Like
you used to have to
intentionally,
go buy a whole album if you
Yeah.
liked one song.
Yeah.
And then you would probably listen to the whole album.
And you'd probably
You
fall in
trust
love
the
with the other
artist.
songs.
Yeah.
I remember, listening to records and because my parents had them, and then also cassettes, and then we were talking about VHS a little while ago, and if you listen to cassettes now, and watch VHS tapes, they're horrible.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Like, how did we?
Yeah. Oh man.
They're
yeah.
so crackly
Yeah.
and like, oh my gosh,
And like
I know.
warbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that is probably how they've aged, but also just like
Yes.
the inconvenience of rewinding them.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I know. It's so crazy.
That's so true. You have to rewind them.
Yeah. What
I
did
miss
we-
it.
But it is now. It
There's
is
nothing to
now
do
like
afterward.
a total
Right.
kind of nostalgia thing where
Yeah.
you know I in the Meet You in Our Dreams video, there's like film grain in it because it looks cool. You know, like
Oh,
whatever.
I mean, truly, our logo has a cassette tape
Yeah.
in it.
So for Awkwardness, we like to see the journey of like where you started with your song, the Romeo and Juliet song, and then like what's a song now that kind of like shows where you're at now?
I was trying to decide which song I should do, but this is from the most recent album, Makes Sense.
Yeah.
It's called My Quiet. You're my quiet in a crowded room. The storm that's rolling off my shoes. A minor chord in a hopeful tune. The dust that settles, a sweet perfume. And I'm just trying to get back to you. You're my flower on the interstate. An easy shot that ricocheted. I'll walk away, but I'll walk slow. And if I'm honest, I've nowhere to go. I'm just trying to get back to you. You're the eye of a hurricane, a blindfold shot with perfect aim, a golden hour before the dark, an open heart that left a scar. And we try to celebrate the skies we look to didn't have what it takes. We made wishes anyway, so our hearts that were breaking could beat another day. You're my quiet in a crowded room. Minor chord in a hopeful tune. And I'm just trying. I'm just trying to get back to you.
Oh, I love that
God,
one.
your voice gave me goosebumps.
So beautiful. Same. I
Thank
know
you.
the good goosebumps, not the ice
Yeah,
shoots.
right. Not that I'm too cold for this photo
Yeah.
shoot.
That's amazing. What a voice. Oh,
Thank
jeez.
you.
Oh.
Stop it.
So good.
No, that was beautiful.
think
That was so beautiful.
It's a great place to like end it.
Yeah, I mean, my God, it's the highest point.
The highest point. The cliffside of Big Sur, if you will.
My dog was like eyeballing a bird over there, and I could tell he was about to bark, and I was like,
Oh,
"Don't
no.
you interrupt this!"
Yeah, this is a moment.
Oh.
That was beautiful,
God,
Kris.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming down. Seriously,
Yeah.
it means a lot.
I'm
Yeah,
glad I
Yes.
could be here.
I can't believe you came from Monterey. Thank you.
Yeah. This is really fun. Thank you.
She's the best.
I mean,
So awesome.
Her voice is so beautiful, and I love some intellectual lyrics. I also appreciate her pulling back the curtain on some of the less glamorous aspects of creating the visual elements. I may have done an underwater photo shoot, and man, it looks so cool, but at such a cost.
Yeah.
Such a cost.
Might need to take some water in the nose.
Or just maybe near hypothermia, like whatever. But she makes it look easy. Kris actually put out a new album called Damn Shame Waste on September 9th, and we will most certainly include all the pertinent links in the show notes, as well as links to the videos we discussed in the episode. Follow her on Insta, and while you're at it, follow us. We sure would be grateful if you subscribe to the pod as well. And if you wanted to leave us a nice review, that would be awesome too. We appreciate you listening more than you know. Thank you for coming on the ride with us, and we will see you next week when we interview pop singer Collage.
Thanks.
Yeah, see ya.